Blessings, family, peace and blessings. Thank you all for tuning in. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who appeared in the divine person of Master Fard Muhammad. I further bear witness that he raised for us a divine leader, teacher, and guide in the person of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I could never thank these two enough for leaving behind for me and my generation a leader, teacher, and guide to raise us up into our godhood and to be that constant reminder that our Savior has arrived. And that is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. In these three great names, I greet you in the greeting words of peace. Salam alaikum. Family, thank you all for tuning in. Listen, of course, and always, we have some great news upon us. How to Eat to Live, Book 1, How to Eat to Live, Book 2, right? And in these, what I have discovered from being a health practitioner, being a health scientist, that these books take us into the lifestyle of abundant life. Because when we're dealing with health and wellness, everything, everything depends on this, our lifestyle. When you come out of the womb, when we come out of the womb, how we come out, if we don't have a particular ailment or imbalance when we come out, everything else is created from this right here, our lifestyle. And when we see on the title of these books, From God in Person, this is the conditions, or these books describe the conditions that he found us in, right? So when we look at book 2, the introduction takes us into the mindset of the material in the book, and it also gives us a mindset of how we should approach the science in these books, right? And this is from the secretary of that time, Brother Abbas Rasul. And it says, the wisdom of Allah given to us in the book How to Eat to Live, Volume 1, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, exhibits the power of the black man's God to take a people in the lowest condition of life, and by the regulations of their dietary habits, raise them to a higher spiritual and physical condition. How to Eat to Live, Volume 2, will continue this evolution to higher perfection if we will but hear and obey. Hear him, heed him, or honor him and obey him, for he alone was chosen and taught and given the keys to our salvation. This book, How to Eat to Live, Volume 2, is one of our keys. Woo! Listen to that. So, as one that is going to apply the science in these books, this gives me the mindset of how I'm to approach this, because it says that How to Eat to Live exhibits the power of the black man's God to take us found in the lowest conditions of life. There is nothing lower than the so-called American Negro. And just by regulating our dietary habits will raise us up into spiritual and a higher spiritual and physical condition. Listen, How to Eat to Live, Volume 2 will continue this evolution to higher perfection. So as one that's looking, what do I get out of this book? It's not a diet book, right? It's not a religious book, a spiritual book. But what should I get out of here? What should I expect to get out of the book? Let me show you. On page 52 of How to Eat to Live, book 1, it says how to live more than 100 years. Allah has taught me in the person of Master Fard Muhammad how to eat to live so that I also may teach you. It says, he desires to extend our lives from a short span averaging 62 years to one of 1,000. or for as long as we desire to live. He said there is no set time for us to die. We kill ourselves daily by means of what we think, what we eat, and what we drink. All praise is due to Allah. Listen to me. Excuse me if I get excited. Excuse me in my enthusiasm. But this is deep right here. Because as someone that came into the world with an imbalance, as someone that came into the world with parents that didn't necessarily teach me how to eat to live, I came and I grew into certain conditions that I had and never could overcome. The only thing this world was offering me was surgery or pills or medications. So we had in here a insight of what should I expect from these books if I apply the science. He says that he desires, Master Fard Muhammad desires to extend our lives from a short span averaging 62 to a span of 1,000 or for as long as we desire to live. So now the lifestyle, okay, hold on, let me go because I'm jumping ahead of myself. He said, there is no set time for us to die. Well, then how do we die, Brother Sean? Easy, it's right here. He said, we kill ourselves daily by means of what we think, what we eat, and what we drink. That's the lifestyle. Listen, he's what we eat, what we think, right? What we eat, what we drink. Okay? Now, this is very true and very accurate and this is the basis for our lifestyle. Because what we think is going to be the action potential, right? What is an action potential? Okay, stop moving right now. If you stop moving, the only thing that's moving is your heart and your lungs, your respiratory system and our heartbeat, right? Now, if you stop moving and let's say raise your right hand, see how boom, and you let it go. Now, in order to accomplish that motor movement, the motor sensory nerves in our brain sends an action potential, an electrical spark down our spinal column to the vertebrae that goes to the arm, and it causes it to contract. When these muscles release, that's movement. This comes from the thought. So when he says we kill ourselves daily by means of what we think, what we eat, and what we drink. Now, from the thinking comes the emotions, right? Those hormones that are produced by my thoughts. The hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. These are the master glands. They control the endocrine system. They control our hormones. They literally control our emotions. So when he teaches us that we kill ourselves daily by means of what we think, this is first, because from there, this is how we go to move ourselves. So if we are in a condition that is dangerous, unhealthy, negative, a physical condition, I had to move my body into that physical condition. Why? Because if I stop moving right now, my body doesn't move. I have to create the thought that creates the action potential that causes the contraction to move me. So if I'm sick, if I'm impaired, if I'm imbalanced, the first action in my body is my thought, because that's what controls me. You are what you eat, right? So when you eat something, the body will break it down and use it for energy or building blocks. You are what you eat. So when we are looking at what my physical body is right now, right? You have your catabolic breaks down. So when you put something in your digestive system, the catabolic state of our metabolism breaks it down. The anabolic uses that material for energy and building blocks. So when they say you are what you eat, this is it, because whatever is left over is what you are right now. Listen, when we eat something or even drink something, the catabolic state breaks it down. The anabolic state uses it for energy and building blocks. What is left over at the end of this process is what you are right now. So we need to go somewhere right here. This is what moves the body, the thought. If we need to be something physically, what you eat and drink is what your physical body turns into. So when we are looking at what should I expect from How to Eat to Live, book 1 and book 2, these are lifestyle books. These will give us the lifestyle so that we can live as long as we desire. Oh man, hold up, because what does he say? This is from God in person. Allah has taught me in the person of Mustafa Muhammad how to eat to live so that I also may teach you. He desires to extend our lives from a short span averaging 62 to one of 1,000 years, or for as long as we desire to live. Oh, that's the key. That's where you need an eye. See, what do I get out of this book? This is an endless potential of life. How to eat to live. This is an endless potential of life from a scientific perspective. So we have to understand, how long do I desire to live? So when I'm looking at this equation, right? Because it's lifestyle. So if I'm looking at the age, right? You have a numerical and you have biological, right? These two different categories that one depends upon the other. So numerical is the numbers. Right? Biological is the condition of this is the condition of your cell. Hold on, family. Okay, sorry about that. So when we are looking at this process, this is the condition of your cells. This is controlled by what you think, what you eat, and what you drink, right? Your lifestyle. This determines the condition of your cells. In this, the condition of your cells determine the number you are. So when you could be 40 here, but the condition of your cells will be like you're 20. So you will be numerically 40, but biologically, physically, you will be not the condition of a 20-year-old, and you will look like it. Conversely, or vice versa, you could be 20, but the condition of your cells make you at 40. And you could look it and feel it and be it. Because this is where How to Eat to Live is at. So when we hear on page 52, he desires to extend our lives from a short span averaging 62 years to a span of 1,000 years, or for as long as we desire to live. Ooh, so look, if you know that there's no set time to die, if you know that your lifestyle determines that, the next question that you got to ask yourself, how long do I want to live? Woo! Listen, how long do I want to live? Okay? Listen, how long do I want to live? That's the question, because we have something called premature death. Premature death. Now, this is calculated numerically. They have a category called the YPLL. This is years of potential life lost. So this is a category that deals with premature death. YPLL. That acronym stands for years of potential life lost. They say that in America, in most industrialized countries, the average lifespan is 75 years. So they say that, let's use the number that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us. If you die at 62, right, that means you had 13 years of potential life that was lost. That means you should have had still been here for at least 13 more years. This is premature death. That means you got at least 13 years of premature death. So when he teaches us that there's no set time for us to die, but we got to learn how we die. We kill ourselves daily by means of what we think, what we eat, and what we drink. We create a lifestyle that's so deadly, we end up killing ourselves. So he wants to extend us past this short span. He wants to extend us past what the average lifespan, because remember, this is the average lifespan, right? So this is the average lifespan. This is above average knowledge and science. This is the average lifespan. This is what you will get being here in this world. This is if you want to get past this, because he's giving us the knowledge to extend our lives for as long as we desire to live. Page 59. This is 1 meal a day. The way we eat is one of the greatest problems that we have. It is the base of our illness. Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, says that what we eat keeps us here and what we eat takes us away. This is a very logical way of saying it. He also said that nature has not set a certain time for anyone to die. We live as long as we are able to keep living, according to what we eat and drink. This is universally known by the wise. Wow. See, he's clearing us of all of that foolishness, that what we can just go and we can do anything and pray about it, and then no, because we got cause and effect. We got for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. There is no set time for you to die. It's the things that you do will shorten or lengthen your life. Cause and effect. For every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. So once we know this, and then we are giving the science of the proper foods to eat, when to eat them, how to eat them, now we create a lifestyle that creates a body, ooh, that's on a trajectory to live as long as you desire to live, right? So when he teaches us, look, page 26, How to Eat to Live, book 1. He says, his way will prolong our lives and do away with our sickness. And that way is eating 1 meal a day, or if we are able and do not have too much physical work to do, eating 1 meal every 2 days. This alone will prolong our lives. Why am I reading this? Because he's giving us and introducing us to a lifestyle that, because what we were born into was a lifestyle of death. eating all the time, eating, no regulations, no control of our appetite. If we can't control our appetite, this opens the door for us to not being able to control our life. Right? So he's introducing us to different concepts. Yes, they may sound unfamiliar, but this world is slowly getting up to intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day is not just popular, but it's being taught by medical scientists when at one time it wasn't. Right? So look, page 51. He says, remember, we kill ourselves by what we eat and how we eat it. Just as food is our source of life, it is also our source of death. As God has taught me, food keeps us here and it takes us away. For long life, take long intervals between your meals and do not eat over 1 meal a day. So we're going to look at this and we're going to see, okay, now that I know what I can get from this book, I can get abundant life from these books. They are opening the door for abundant life. Now I got to do and understand what I need to do to extract abundant life out of these books. In these words is abundant life. How do I pull it out? How do I tap in? How do I extract abundant life out of these words? You start with how and what you are eating. Begin with 1 meal a day. Begin at the hours of 4 to 6. And then strive to eat or not drink or eat anything in between that meal to give your body time enough to digest the food, disperse it, and to get rid of the waste. So there won't be a collection of unnecessary material inside of you, poisoning you, making yourself toxic, killing yourself, right? So he tells us on page 37, he says, 1 meal a day and nothing between that 1 meal will get you a longer life. That is, if you eat the proper food. We make ourselves sick. Do not think that sickness is something that just comes by itself regardless to how we live. You are not being tested by God if you are sick. If you have an imbalance that you created, that's not a test from God. That's not a tribulation. That's a lifestyle action that you correct with your lifestyle. The test and trial was created by you, not by God. God don't work like that. He came to teach us how to eat to live so we won't go through that no more, right? So he came to teach us how to eat to live so we won't go through that no more. So when we are looking at this and what we should extract from it and how, we got to understand that he's giving us a lifestyle built for abundant life. Page 162. Listen, all praise is due to Allah. Page 162. Listen, he's reinforcing this throughout the books. So we kill ourselves as Allah tells me. There's nobody sitting somewhere with a book or a notebook or a computer saying, okay, oh, it's your time to die. Boom. Oh, it's your time to die. Boom. There's no expiration dates on none of these organs that you can pull out. He tells us to eat 1 meal a day, 1 meal every 2 days, 1 meal every 3 days, so we can save our stomach. He says, because once you wear out your stomach, then you're going to eventually die, because this is where your energy and nutrients come from. So he's teaching us how to preserve ourselves for abundant life, right? So he says, so we kill ourselves, as Allah tells me that there is no set time that we should die, like our old parents were taught, that when the time comes for you to die, you will die regardless. Woo, look, listen to that. Allah told me there is no set time for us to die. We kill ourselves, and this has been proven true. Uh-oh, listen. He says we kill ourselves, And this has been proven true. How? Through our lifestyles. So we have been blessed. All praises due to Allah. Given a lifestyle that not only cleanses us up, not only heals us, but it puts us on a path to being healthy, strong, so we can enjoy abundant life. The promise of God, right? But we got to understand there is no mystery to the health and wellness. Pathology is going to do one of two things. Your death certificate is one of two things. It is either they want to determine whether what you did killed you or if there's foul play. Organs aren't supposed to just fail. You may say, my black brothers and sisters, I have been eating it all my life, and my grandmother and father ate it, and they lived 65, 75, or 80 years. That is no time to live. You need not live under 100 years, and from that to 1,000 years. But your life depends on what you eat. What you eat keeps you here, and what you eat takes us away. Oh man. Listen, he see, because we'll say that when she was drinking that, or he was smoking cigarettes, or she was doing this, and they lived to be 90. But that's foolishness. That's foolishness. Because if you die at 90, your body doesn't disappear. Somebody got to pick it up and deal with it and bury it. So that means you could have still been in your body. There's no set time to die. We kill ourselves. He's trying to relieve us of that insane action of suicide, of killing ourselves. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, right? So look, on page 80, because I feel what you're saying. I know what you think, and so did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Listen, page 80. Listen what he says. We should live far longer than we had, as long as we see where we came from and that the material that made up our bodies is still alive. But what has happened to us? We were fed with death at the very beginning. The wrong food and drink given to us when we were babies by our wicked enemies. Until, listen, today, we think that it is a mistake, right? To contemplate living 100 or more years. And to think of 1,000 years, we think that is impossible. Oh, listen. All praise is due to Allah because he knew what type of mindset was in us, the mind of our enemies. And he knew that we will reject our own. So listen, he put it into a language and gave us an understanding. So we knew that. What happened to us? That's the question. We should be living far longer than we have. Our history. We got Methuselah and Noah and all of these people that lived as long as they wanted. Because he said when we got tired of living, that's when we broke the dietary laws. So he tells us, asks us, what happened to us? And we get an answer. Because a lot of us, we think it's foolishness to think that you hear me right now and say that nigga crazy, that brother crazy. Can't nobody live that long. Hey, that's foolishness. And what happened to us? He says, we were fed with death at the very beginning. The wrong food and drink given to us when we were babies by our wicked enemies. Until today, we think that it is a mistake to contemplate living 100 or more years, not to think of 1,000 years. We think that is impossible. If we create that lifestyle, nothing is impossible. If you create that lifestyle, your cells will keep dividing. They will keep reproducing into your abundant life. If you don't create that lifestyle, you will go through the end replication problem. You will go through cell senescence where your cells will still be able to do their job, but there's no more life in them. and you will be eventually waiting for your body, one of these organs to stop and your systems to shut down and you die. That's not life. That's premature death isn't dying at a specific number. It's dying when you are not ready to die. For he desires to extend our lives from a short span of a 62 to one of 1,000, or for as long as we desire to live. That's page 52. So if God comes to extend our lives to 1,000 or for as long as you desire to live, then premature death isn't dying at a specific number. It's dying when you weren't ready. All praise is due to Allah. Listen, we got some real life insurance policies. You don't buy these and pay off your debt. You buy these and you extend your life. You might not even need a death policy because you're going to live for as long as you want to live. And then when you are ready to die, that's when you will break those laws, those dietary laws to cause your death. Man, that's liberating, especially for a people that were brought up under death. Our ancestors were brought up under death. Today we are brought up under death. But we have a way out. All praise is due to Allah. You can get your copies www.noi.org, www.finalcall.com. Family, I thank you all for tuning in. I'm your brother. Listen, go and be great and powerful. Carpe diem. Go create your heaven and set yourself in it at once. I leave you as I came in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.